Um, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. I don't typically go live this late on a Friday, and I've already pivoted on what I'm going to talk about. Have you ever been so fired up that it's hard to keep the tears out of your eyes? You're so angry that it's hard to keep the tears out of your eyes. I believe we can call that righteous anger. Where I'm coming from with this, I'm going to pivot in this live. I know what a lot of you all want to hear about. I get it. And I'll share a little bit. If I can just promise you all that some of that stuff I can cover maybe tomorrow, there's something more important I want to talk about. I just watched Candace's live, and let's talk about why Ben Shapiro sees Candace Owens as his slave, because that is not a metaphor. That is exactly how Ben Shapiro sees Candace Owens. And Ben Shapiro is not the only one. I'm under the belief that there are many others that see Candace Owens and people like Candace Owens the same way. So this live is not necessarily about Candace, even though I will be using her and myself as examples. It's bigger than me and Candace. I have a lot in common with Candace, a lot more in common than many of you all know, because the video where I've shared a couple of things that I'm going to talk about in this live is still not sitting with quite, it's still pretty low viewed video. And the very first live I've ever done on this channel, which ironically was just days, if not the day before everything happened with Charlie Kirk on September 10th. My very first live ever to celebrate 100,000 subscribers. I shared a story about how I was fired from my job last year. Very similar to Candace Owens, I can only share so much because of contractual legal reasons. But I will, and I do feel comfortable with saying that it was related to some things that I've said on my podcast that are true, that I stood on. And I got to experience a couple of things of how things work behind the scenes. When I first started to realize that I was a conservative, I was just because I didn't really understand politics a few years ago, and I would just listen to people and try to figure out, where do I fall? What do I believe in? What are my values? Right? What do I care about? What's important to me? Do I actually believe in Jesus? And I was like, I think I'm a conservative. I think I'm a freaking conservative. And many people in the Black community, at least on the internet, as of 5-6 years ago, hated Candace Owens. So when I'm first stepping into the political space, you got your Candace Owenses, you got your Officer Tatums of the world. You run into your Ben Shapiros and your Charlie Kirks and your Tucker Carlson, and the list goes on. And when I started to listen to Candace, I was like, I actually agree with the things that she's saying. I thought she was bad. Why don't Black people like her? She said that abortion is murder. It is. Like, it is. She said that modern day feminism is toxic. I agree with her. She said that modern Black culture and the degeneracy that's running rampant in our community is out of control and is counterintuitive to our growth. She's telling the truth. She said hip hop has been infiltrated. It's not what it used to be. She's telling the truth. I said, why don't they like Candace? The reason why that's relevant for this video is very relevant to her rant today. Because I've been screaming at this screen on this YouTube channel for years about why it is that I spend so much time on this channel talking about Hollywood, the music industry. It's not gossip. I'm saying something happened to the Black community. Something changed. I was born in 94. But I knew by early 2000s, something's weird. Something's happening in our community. And the more and more you dig into it and you understand who runs Hollywood, who runs the PORN industry, who controls the music industry, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's overwhelming. It's everywhere. How do you make it hatred for pointing it out? I'm emotional like this because I have mixed feelings. Candace Owens was used. She was used. Yes, Candace, Ben Shapiro sees you as a slave, and he saw you that way the entire time you were at the Daily Wire. Your job was to talk about the Black community because, as insulting as this sounds, that's how they view you, as someone that's only responsible for talking about someone that's on their level or beneath them. And they used you well, because even though you had great intentions, I remember I had mixed feelings when I first found Candace. I agree with the things she was saying, but I was like, shoot, Candace, I just wished, could you talk a little bit more, like just shine a little bit more light on the positive things about our community too? It's not that she only said negative things. She talked about how the community used to be. But man, it's only the degradation of our community. And Ben Shapiro then was funding her to do it. Talk about George Floyd. Even if you're telling the truth, Candace, stick to that. Talk about the hip hop industry. Talk about Hollywood. Talk about sex out of wedlock. Talk about fatherless homes. Talk about the government coming into our homes. But don't you dare talk about any other community, especially the JEW community. Don't you dare do it. So for those of you that didn't catch Candace's live, let me first show you why it is that Ben Shapiro sees Candace Owens as a slave.
We have 3 reasons, Mark, because your wife is incredible, always from day one. But I think it's okay if we ask Miriam Adelson. Do you want to come up, Miriam? Come up here, Miriam. Miriam gave my campaign, indirectly and directly, $250 million. She was number one. When somebody can give you $250 million, I think that we should give her the opportunity to say hello. And Miriam, make it quick, because $250 million is not what it used to be. Okay? Hello, darling. Come in. Incredible woman with a great husband, a man that loved Israel.
Wow.
Well, Mr. President, when you were in the Israeli parliament and you gave a speech and you saw me from far away, at that time I came with a scooter to the parliament just to hear you. I wanted to hear you alive. And Then you say, Miriam Adelson, and I stood for a second, but it was so painful, so I sat. Then you screamed, Miriam, stand up! And I wish you would have known, but I stood up and heard all your compliment, and thank you very much.
I saw you back there standing.
Yeah, you saw me.
She stood
Thank
up
you.
bravely.
And now I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said the legal thing about 4 more years, and I say, Alan, I agree with you. So we can do it. Think about it.
Alan's
and I
here
would be,
someplace. Where's Alan?
Alan is here, or he had a flight? Alan is here? Think about it.
Thank you.
Maybe I will be the first one who told you, or second. Yeah.
She said, think about it. I'll give you another 250. But...
I will give.
But her husband, Sheldon, was an amazing guy, and he'd come up to the office, and there was nobody more aggressive than Sheldon. I think I spent more time with him and you, because you usually came up together, but he'd call and say, can I come over, please? I say, Sheldon, I'm president of the United States. It doesn't work that way anymore. It's like maybe tomorrow. How about tomorrow? No, please, just for a little while. And I would, he'd always say 10 minutes. It turned out to be about an hour and a half, right? And what he did is he fought for Israel. That's all he really fought for. He just wanted to take care of. He just wanted to take care of Israel. So he was a great guy. He was a fantastic man, and he loved you so much he couldn't see straight. So good. Thank you, darling. Be careful.
Many of you would say, what does that have to do with Candace Owens? What does that have to do with Ben Shapiro? It has a lot to do with it. That is the president of this country admitting that one person, one family, 2 individuals gave him $250 million, both directly and indirectly. What does indirectly even mean? What does that even mean? This is the president of our country admitting that one of those individuals, both of those individuals, loved that foreign nation more than this country. This is the president of our country saying that he told them, no, you cannot come right now. I'm the president. It doesn't work that way. I'm busy. And the person told the president, no, I still need to come and see you. It'll take 10 minutes. And then used an hour and a half of the president's time. Who's running this nation again? Why is this relevant? Because Donald Trump is behaving in a way that is extremely different than how he ran for president. We know why, because he was running for president. If people had seen this side of Trump before he got into office, of course, it would have went differently. People would have been up in arms. But people forget, this is not Trump's first time. Because just a few months ago, Trump said this.
But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say.
Why would you be showing this? Because our country is occupied. That's why. Because there are things that are happening behind the scenes, and there are people that are behind the scenes that are really running things, really controlling things. Yes, Candace Owens. Ben Shapiro is a Talmudic Jew. Have you ever read the Talmud? And this is where I'm going to give some pushback to Candace. I refuse to believe, Candace. If you see this video, I'm a realist. I tell the truth. If you want me to believe that you never knew until after you left that he was a Talmudic Jew, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, respectfully. Maybe I don't think you knew that coming in, but while you were there, I think you knew, and you just got the benefit while you were there. I'm not even, teasing you for it. Ben Shapiro sees black people as animals, as beneath them, and he sees white people the same way, even though he's European in nature as well. Let's see Let's go and take a look at what Candace had to say today about Ben Shapiro. But first, I'm going to show you all what Ben Shapiro said at MFest, for those of you that have not seen it or heard it.
We must not let fear of other hosts deter us from telling the truth. So, for example, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name.
Before I go to the clip of Candace responding to him, let me just share something with you all. Has anyone ever found it weird that you have Ben Shapiro, who works at the Daily Wire, considers himself a Talmudic Jew, and if you ever read that book, it has a lot of weird beliefs, including the fact that Jesus is in hell, burning in hell, in crap, right? In SHIT. That's what they believe. Okay. But he has people working for his company that are quote unquote Christians. Does that not seem odd to you? That seems like an infiltration right there. That right there alone speaks to the fact that there's a strong chance that the Daily Wire is a complete spy agency. That's what it tells me. That's exactly what it tells me. Ben Shapiro wasn't friends with Charlie Kirk like that. They were cordial, but according to Candace, they weren't friends. Why is Ben Shapiro at this event? He wasn't on the original flyer. Let me show you all the original flyer. MFest 2025 flyer. Where is it at? Let me see if I can find it. Shoot, there's a newer one. Let me see. Maybe I can look it up here. MFest flyer. Darn it. This is why I should have saved it earlier. Here it is. Is this it? No, this is the new one. But anyways, he wasn't on the original flyer. Now all of a sudden he's there, but we'll get into that in Erica Kirk here in a bit. Let's go up and take a listen to what Candace had to say.
With it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all Black people, okay? if he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hate, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that are working at Turning Point USA. Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye. Question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular? How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen name, Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire, under the pen name Hank Berrien, as he wrote while Ben was at Breitbart, before he turned his back and betrayed them too, because that is his nature. One of these belly creatures, sliver on. The question is, how many more weeks and years do we have to keep pretending like Ben Shapiro is relevant?
Yeah. The moment Candace Owens started speaking about the war in the Middle East, and she started saying that genocide is wrong regardless of who does it, she was fired. When everything she said was true. But she was able to spew whatever she wanted. She was able to go as far as she wanted. There was no boundaries when it came to the Black community. But the moment she spoke out and was consistent with another community that is off limits, she was fired. It has become more and more obvious to me, and I'm almost inspired to create a documentary. And let me just say humbly, when I zone in and I tune everything else out, and I decide to do a documentary like a Clive Davis documentary, like a Martin Luther King, style documentary on this channel, then I think I can put together some pretty detailed, granular style, extremely informed work. And I think I really need to do that when it comes to TPUSA and Erica Kirk. I've made several videos about Erica, but it is not a coincidence that a guy she used to talk to, I want to just connect some dots for you all real fast. Erica Kirk, who's part Jewish. For those of you that don't know, Erica Frantzvey, part Jewish, meets Charlie. This is what I think about Charlie Kirk before we even get into Erica. Many of you have watched most of my videos on Charlie. I've done a backstory on Charlie, his family, same with Erica Kirk. I'm not Candace Owens. What I mean by that is I didn't know him well, obviously. I didn't have a friendship with him, none of that. So if Candace sees this video and she disagrees, then so be it. These are Demetrius's thoughts. This is what I think. And I've alluded to this before. I believe that Charlie Kirk was a creation, much like J.D. Vance is a creation. I believe that Charlie Kirk had many thoughts that were organically his own thoughts and beliefs. But I also believe that Charlie Kirk had thoughts that were not of his own. And he believed that they were his own thoughts, but they weren't. Much like how Candace in yesterday's episode was talking about people in the military that are raised up and trained to infiltrate certain programs, Christian churches. I believe there's an element of that happened early on with Charlie Kirk. I believe some of the people that was behind that was donating money to TPUSA, some of the biggest donors. Some of them I believe Charlie Kirk knew about. Some of them I don't believe he knew about. And I believe they were donating money to TPUSA for multiple reasons. One of them is one of the most obvious reasons: to grow the organization, to invest in the organization. The other reason, which is closely tied to this first reason, is to make it appear as if TPUSA is much more loved and supported by more people than it originally was, which attracts more investors. The third reason is because I believe they was using a lot of that money that they sent to TPUSA to do illegal things and to launder money, allegedly. And the last reason is to control Charlie Kirk. If you do or do not do X, Y, and Z, we're going to take this away. Yes, that's right. We're the ones that's giving you this. I think that will further explain why Charlie Kirk blew up as great as he did, as big as he did. Okay. Why is that important? July of this year, Tucker Carlson spoke at the TPUSA event. Obviously, we know he gave this incredible monologue. I don't know how you feel about Tucker Carlson. It's one of the greatest monologues I've ever heard before. That's just a fact. He speaks about credit card debt, credit card interest, how unethical credit card interest is, who's behind and who owns the banks. We all know who. He talked about who are all these people moving up in the ranks that have no skills. How are y'all making all this money? Right? Where do you people come from? The average American is struggling and y'all are getting richer. And we still have yet to see what your skill set is. Jeffrey Epstein being a great example. Where do these people come from? Why am I talking about Tucker? Because I was thinking when Tucker gave that monologue, I remember thinking to myself, why would Charlie Kirk have a Tucker Carlson and a Josh Hammer at the same event if they're not going to debate each other? Right? Charlie embraced debate. He embraced opposing views as long as you can have a conversation, because when conversation stops, when talking stops, violence starts. Let's try to talk this out. Okay. Josh Hammer was there to debate Dave Smith. Tucker Carlson was there to give a monologue and to, as we now know, infamously, to go max. And that's exactly what Tucker Carlson did. Fast forward to now, Tucker Carlson is still on this ticket as a headliner along with Ben Shapiro, and they're not debating? Why is it that they're not debating? Because one of these two people is not willing to debate. That will be Ben Shapiro. He's not willing to have a conversation with Tucker because he's on the losing side. You don't even have to be a great debater to beat Ben Shapiro because he's coming from a losing position. He does not embrace free speech. He does not embrace debates. He's cosplaying as doing so. Why am I talking about this? Erica Kirk used to date a guy who works at the Daily freaking Wire. Did you hear what I just said about the Daily Wire? You have these people cosplaying as almost white conservatives, but they're not Christian. They don't follow Jesus. In fact, they're not Muslim, so they don't believe that Jesus is even a prophet. They believe that Jesus is in hell. How blasphemous. Why would a Matt Walsh be working for a person that believes that about our Lord and our Savior? No, I gotta go. Candace has more balls than these men do. Matt Walsh. Tucker Carlson's time speaking at TPUSA events is limited. Mark my words. When I say limited, let me be more specific. I guarantee you he has maybe one other event total. And they're going to transition him off the ticket. Why is Ben Shapiro speaking? He wasn't on the original flyer. He wasn't on the original guest list when Charlie, before September 10th. What happened? Why is he there now? How did he get up there? You have Ben Shapiro getting up there attacking Candace, one of the best friends of Charlie Kirk, attacking Tucker, someone who's literally at the event that you can sit down and have a conversation with in front of everybody. Instead, you want a monologue. Just so Tucker can come right before you or after you to say everything the opposite of what you said. You're sending mixed messages to your audience. The only reason you should be doing that is if you're going to debate. Is it a coincidence that the connection between Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk is Donald Trump and Israel? You said, well, Tyler Boyer connected them. It doesn't matter. He was still tied to the Trump administration. She comes from that world of modeling, even though she has no history. She's lying about being in relationships when we know she was in relationships. She's lying about drinking. Erica Kirk, we know that you were drinking. You were an actress. I think I was the first on YouTube to drop that, or one of the first. You were an actress. Now it comes out, Cabot Phillips or whatever his name is, he works at the, of all places, Stop. When I hit the number 25, I was done with coincidences. What do I mean by that? The 25th coincidence of Erica Kirk, I was done. We on number 47. There's 47 weird things about Erica Kirk that we're supposed to just say are all coincidences. She's up there cracking jokes about we have 25 more countries that supports us joining the TPUSA family. And don't worry, Egypt isn't one of them. Hold on. I'm going to show it to you all. I don't know if you all saw this. Let me show you. Erica on Egypt. Listen to this.
All 50 states represented. We have 25 countries represented plus Puerto Rico, but I have the list here. Don't worry, guys. Egypt is not on the list. Don't worry about that.
That's funny.
But, oh, how funny. I say Egypt and my iPad turns on.
Why is that funny? Why is that funny? I'm especially fired up today because I don't like bullies. And it's great to hear Candace entertaining the Erica Kirk angle more and more. But I'm going to be honest with you all. I'm a bit frustrated because it's not about attacking Candace, but it's not until she's fired and Ben Shapiro is doing this ridiculous attacking, baselessly attacking her, that now she's coming out with this. I guess what I mean by that is, just like Officer Tatum, just like the pastor from TPUSA that was on my channel that I debated. Those of you that are not seeing that debate against the TPUSA pastor, if you're new to this channel, I would highly encourage you go and watch that. I did a live on it, and I also posted a video on this channel. You might want to go and check that out. These Black American conservatives that believe in Jesus, I love it. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter your skin color, your nationality, your ethnicity. If you believe in Jesus Christ as Lord, that is what is most important, because Jesus Christ is most important. However, that's Jesus Christ. We are human beings, and only human beings. There's a reason why John Amanchukwu, who is the pastor from TPUSA that I debated, there's a reason why an Officer Tatum would never question the status quo, because they're being funded and they're being accepted by these people. He knows that being Officer Tatum, who claims to be good friends with Candace, Pastor Amanchukwu knows, be grateful for what you got. Candace Owens compared it to being a slave. She said the way that Ben Shapiro has been attacking her is that of a slave. It's like a slave that got away, and no matter what they tried, they weren't able to kill the slave. Yes, Candace, because that's how they see you. You were expendable to them. And it freaking infuriates me. This is a country thing. This is a nation thing. What I mean by that is, I'm not this fired up because of Candace. I'm not this fired up because of Ben Shapiro. I'm fired up because of what it represents. The reason why I have so many videos on this channel talking about musicians is because they've infiltrated our country. I have a video on Patreon from October, I believe, like 27th or something, sometime in October, entitled "Why I Believe Charlie Kirk is Alive." And whether you hold that position or not, whether you still hold that position or not, is irrelevant. The way that I started that video off was a video clip of this young man saying, you have red ants and you have black ants. And you put them into a jar, right? So you have a jar, you have a cup, and you put a lid on it. Those red ants and those black ants will live peacefully with no issues until someone comes along and they take that jar and they shake it up. The moment you're done shaking it up, and then you put those ants onto the ground, they're fighting each other. When the problem isn't even red ants being better than black ants being better than red ants, the problem is who shook the jar. That person is the problem. Ben Shapiro represents all those that are behind the musicians in the music industry that's purposefully pushing destruction, degradation, degeneracy, and sin into the community. urban community, black community, even the white community. Ben Shapiro is representing the people behind Hollywood and the messages they push in these films. It's ruining us. Ben Shapiro is representing the people behind the PORN industry. I was addicted to PORN from the age of like 15 to 17 or 8, like no, from the age of like 16 to 19. By the grace of God, I overcame that. That was well over 10 years ago. Do you know what that does to the brain? Who introduced that to us? That's what Ben Shapiro represents. Yeah. And then they have the audacity to hire someone like Candace who means well, but they like go after George Floyd. Talk about the hip hop industry. Talk about your own people. Don't point out the hypocrisy. Don't point out the degeneracy in my community, me being Ben Shapiro. Don't look at us because that will be considered anti-Semitic. It's not racist to talk about black people all day long, though. Say whatever you want about them. Not only will we pay you, we'll give you a bonus. Your own community will hate you because even when you're telling the truth, they're realizing you're doing it for people who don't even like your people. So clearly they have an agenda. The portion of the interview, let me see if I can pull that up, where the guy tells Candace Owens, let's see, the guy tells Candace Owens that he saw Erica Kirk. Let's see if we can find that clip. And I found it. Let's watch this together, and I'm going to give you all my thoughts on this crazy clip. I know a lot of you all wanted to hear what I had to say about this. Why would this man make this up about Erica Kirk?
Saying about it for sure. What the federal government's saying about it for sure, but what I noticed, I don't know these people from TPUSA. Never been associated. I could recognize Charlie Kirk probably, but what I started seeing come across and got more familiar once I saw a picture of somebody in a ponytail with those eyes. That was that person.
The moment he said with those eyes, I guarantee you every last one of us that watched that knew exactly who he was talking about. Because there's something about her freaking eyes, man. And you're lying, you're not being honest if you're saying you don't notice it. Her eyes are off. Maybe on Patreon, I'll say what I really think about her eyes, what I think it means.
They were there. And yeah, the head of security there, he was one of the people walking out with the congressman. Now, how would I know that? I just have a gift for recognizing people. And yeah, maybe it's not him. Maybe he has doppelganger, but somebody with the same mannerisms, the same crick in his neck, face, the waxy look on his face, hand gestures, shoulder shrug, gait, approximate height, haircut, definitely walked past me. And
if
in
you
the
had
hotel,
to put it at a percentage that you were looking at Brian Harpole, maybe he's got a brother in the military, who knows, right? Maybe he does have a doppelganger, he's got a twin brother, who knows? And I want to be clear, I can confirm on this podcast live every step of your story in terms of where you went, what time you were there, that there was this big meeting that happened. I confirmed the location with other people that are on Fort Huachuca currently. I can confirm everything with metadata. I obviously can't confirm that you saw who you say you saw. If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw Brian Harpole, what percentage would you put it at?
95.
Wow.
5%. Okay.
95 to 99. I mean, when I saw him, you know, on the interview with his face and gestures, with that photo, it struck me in my gut. I blew it off until there was, you know, some other pictures that came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erica Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby. And that man, he was present at that meeting.
Now, let me just say, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing on Candace's part, but Candace Owens knew this beforehand. He's already told her this. I'll bet everything I own, he's already told her that he saw Erica Kirk. And that's part of the reason Candace had him to come on, because she knows that if she says it herself, people are going to just, you know, they've been doing it anyways in line and saying that she's been attacking Erica. So it's better if it comes out of his mouth for the first time. It's part of the reason she had him to come on. That's why she urged him right here and said, who else? Because he was going to keep it at Brian Harpole. Let's go back, because Candace already knows who else. Right?
What other people?
What other people?
Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erica Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby.
Wow.
And that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erica Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
Those are really rare eyes.
Yeah, they are.
That's 95 to 99%.
Wow.
I can't imagine somebody else.
Okay, so what I'm going to say, because obviously that's very explosive, and it's one of the reasons why I wasn't sure if I wanted to have you on. I'm going to be honest with you, because I guess I'll tell you the conflict that I had and just be just as honest with you as you are being with me. The first thing was, I can't confirm it, right? I can confirm where you were. I can do all of that, but I can't confirm what you think you saw. I don't know you. I don't know. There are people like my husband who we can see someone once and he recognizes that person 10 years later exactly where we saw them. And there are people like me, and I kind of have facial blindness until I meet someone 3 times. The second thing was, I didn't want people to wrongly extrapolate things and say, okay, well, maybe she was on the base. Maybe there's a chance she wasn't on the base, right? That she has a doppelganger. People do have doppelgangers. I have doppelgangers, right? Well, let's say she was in the base. Let's say you're right, and you saw her. This is the night before. This is on the 8th. Maybe she was in the hotel, but maybe she was there for a different reason. Maybe she was there because she's always been open about the fact that her mother moved to Arizona because she got involved with the military. So that could be totally unrelated to the meeting that took place on the 9th. And I didn't want to, but then I said to myself, this man has lived through so much. You know what I mean? This man has lived through so much. And I would be turning my back on this, really a hero, discovering the cartels, who's lived through so much and has been treated like the government. And then I struggled with my own soul, going, I'm turning my back on him because I'm afraid of backlash for allowing him to tell the truth. And so, and my soul was in conflict. And I decided that, you know what, this is not my platform. Okay. I genuinely believe this is God's platform. I'm a conduit. I don't know why I have a platform. And I don't know why you have this luck in life. I really don't. I don't know why these things happen to you or why they happen to me. But I know that my prayer was very intentional that night, that I received that email.
Do you know how many balls you got to have to go in a one-on-one meeting with Erica Kirk early this week, knowing this information and saying nothing about it? You talking about a checkmate move? Knowing this information, which, by the way, I believe she knows more information than this. I think she's just being, like many of you have already said that she's probably doing, just being super strategic about how she approaches this when it comes to Erica. I believe this man, not because it's so salacious or because I want it to be true. I believe him because in order to make a statement like that, do you know how easy it would be for them to be seen on their Ring camera at home during the time that he said that he saw them? They could easily debunk it. You come out and say something like this because you're comfortable. You're very positive about what you saw. Yeah. What does this mean? What were you doing there with this? And did Charlie not notice? Was Charlie traveling? Because it was the day before. Would he have not known where his wife was? This is crazy. To have this dude to say this on your show, for anybody out there that's entertaining or have been entertaining the idea or the possibility that Candace Owens could be controlled opposition, and all of this has been to distract us, I decided a while ago, I think part of it is a distraction, but it's not necessarily done by Candace. Even for those of you that believe that this is a distraction or believe that Candace Owens could be controlled op, you got to admit, moves like this give you cause to pause, buddy. What would be the angle of this? Implicating Erica Kirk and Brian Harpo in a high level classified secret meeting on a military base the day before. The last thing I want to say is that somehow, Candace, if this gets clipped and you see this, I'm glad you now know that it's not the left versus the right. But it gets deeper, Candace. And either you know that already and you're pretending that you don't, or you truly don't know. But let me say, Ben Shapiro is not the only issue. Erica Kirk is not the only suspicious one. You got people that you call your friends, Candace Owens, like a Piers Morgan. I don't have time in this live, but a Piers Morgan, I refuse to call a person my friend and that this is strictly business. But then we hit the play button on this camera and you then attempt to publicly humiliate and disrespect me by saying that all the stuff that I'm spewing on my podcast is complete and utter BS. That I should not be asking questions unless I have a conclusion already generated, coming from a quote unquote journalist. You're no friend of mine's. You want to publicly humiliate me or attempt to, which I think Candace held her own in her Piers Morgan interview a couple of days ago. Still don't know why she go on there. She's hecka famous, hecka popular. She don't need him. Because like she said, Piers Morgan, matter of fact, that'll be the last clip that we play. Let's go. Let's see. Let's see. Where is it at? Let's look it up real quick. Here it is. This was so infuriating to watch.
Why? What is your theory?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, what's your theory then? You must have an idea.
My theory is that we should investigate everything strange that happened on that day so we can figure out what happened.
But are you suggesting that? Are you suggesting
why is everybody
Egypt?
why are we pretending that we don't know why we ask questions? Like why? Like you're a journalist.
You
know
what
this is. You're like, what's going on? What's going
your
on?
Theory?
Why do you want to know why these planes were tracking Charlie? Well, my theory is that we are being sold absolute Fed slop. The media is doing their Operation Mockingbird Part 2 scenario by telling us, well, unless you absolutely have a conclusion, you can't even ask the question. Yes, we very well
but
damn
it may
can.
Be, Candace.
Keep asking consistent questions until we get a clarified explanation for what happened on that day. And right now, we have nothing, okay? And that is the reason why people are watching my show, because I'm the only one not treating them like they're absolute idiots who don't have two eyes and who believe in magic bullet theories and who understand that Egyptian planes should not have been tracking Charlie even 3 times this year would be an anomaly,
Candace,
They've been tracking him. We don't know where it's going to end, but we are going to keep asking questions until we get clear answers.
Candace, it may be that the person in the media spewing bullshit to the public is you.
Wow.
No, nice try. It's not. It's you by saying, why are you asking questions? Don't you worry about Mikey's feelings? Everyone knows what this is. And like I said, because we have the example, the concrete example of after JFK's assassination, the media members quite literally being put on the payroll of the CIA. We have a historical example that we can look at and go, we're not doing that again. Doesn't matter how many times you keep telling the public that I'm spewing bullshit. It is only because there has not been anything that has come out of this investigation that makes any sense that the public is not listening to. I am sorry to say this, Piers, people like you. And what I love about you and I sitting down is that this exact same time last year, you were doing the same weird questioning and making all these things when I said that they were committing a Holocaust against the Gazans. And then you changed your mind.
Actually,
Piers,
this time,
I'll see you next year when you change your mind again and we have more information about what happened. And you realize that the difference between me and you is that I have the courage to take the risks and ask the questions first, before it's popular. You wait until it becomes popular and then you change your mind.
Mic drop. Can you imagine being married to Candace Owens? Brother, you better be on the right side. Straight up. I'm convinced that Piers Morgan is a part of the same agenda, but that's not, for those of you that have been following this channel, that wouldn't be hard for you to believe anyways, because we've been exposing these people on TV for the longest. You know, Piers Morgan has an extensive history in media. Well before he was on Piers Uncensored, he's been a part of some pretty interesting things. He may have to actually get added to the list for me to cover him in due time. But yeah, just weird stuff like that. I just hope Candace understands that it's not just Ben Shapiro. It's people like a Piers Morgan, an Officer Tatum, and a Matt Walsh. These people are not your friends. I know you probably think they are. Just because they refrain from attacking you in public, that's all good and dandy. But I truly believe when they see what you're doing and it's in good faith and you're making great point after great point, and they refuse to join in or to commend you, instead they stay silent on it, or they come out like Matt Walsh and say, leave Erica Kirk alone. Let her grieve. Let her grieve in silence. Silence? The woman is at the forefront on her own. She's running Turning Point USA now. The same person that used to date somebody at the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire that we can all look at and say, are you an arm of the Israeli propaganda machine? You know? Crazy. But I digress. Let me get to you all's comments. I gotta go. It's absolute insane, bro. Mickey, as always, thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Adrian, what's up? That's me too, Didi. I fall in the middle. She hated because of her ability to stay above the hate. Yep. Other people don't like her intelligence. If she was white, 100% said. Candace Owens is brilliant. Obviously, I agree with so many things from Candace. I have things I'm critical of her. I have a whole documentary on Candace, which she probably has seen by now. However, it's hard for me as a so-called Black American to see Candace making great points about our community, the destruction, the things that have been infiltrated, while not giving any attention. Early on, Candace is doing it now, not talking about who was behind a lot of the things. I agree that we need to be held accountable. It's all over my channel. But not really giving as much attention to the people who was behind it. The war on drugs, incentivizing fathers not being in the home. Who's behind this stuff? How do we go from a most deaf, who was the one everybody say I look like? KRS-One. How do we go from that to a Tupac Shakur who had some conscious lyrics but was extremely destructive? I do believe that Tupac Shakur was an industry plant. How do we go from that to NWA? To P. Diddy? Right? How? Who's behind that? Who's doing that? That don't reflect our community. Oh, I wish I could show you all something. I want to show you all something. Please just bear with me for like 30 seconds. There's a clip. Oh, I just found it. Let me see. I sent this to my buddy. So where is it at? Oh, I just saw it. I sent this to my buddy. It's a clip about a debate that was taking place the other day. Where is it at? I don't want to make you all wait too long. I'm not going to, but we're going to find this clip. Let's see. Marquette. Okay. Boom. Where is it at where he's debating the guy?
You ever heard of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad? Yes.
No, not that one. No. I really want to show you all, man. Darn it. I just saw it. Where did it go? Oh, because all of these are his. Okay, where is the one I see him? Oh my gosh. Oh my freaking gosh. That is so frustrating. That is so frustrating. Actually, let me go to, this is the last thing I'm going to check, y'all, and then I'm going to be ready. I promise. Here it is. Found it.
You use the term partner.
Just
this
listen.
Is a term that comes from the LGBTQ, the Skittle Guzzlers. Do you accept homosexuality?
Well, I don't have to accept homosexuality because I'm not a homosexual. So why would I have to accept?
Are you pro-homosexual? Are you an ally? Like, I'll give you three. Like, I just want to figure out where you're at with it. Are you an ally? Are you against it? Or are you neutral?
I don't have anything against somebody that's homosexual. That's their way of life. It's not my
Against, neutral, or pro?
I'm for anyone loving who they love.
So this kind of ideology that you believe in and that you're sharing, this is the ideology that's extraordinarily destructive to the Black family in particular, and all families in general across all of the racial categories. Black people have the highest level of religiosity in this country right here. And that's because Black people are a people of spirit and rhythm. And that's all of us around the whole planet Earth. We're deeply religious, spiritual people. And if you go to the continent of Africa, for the things that you said you're okay with, the LGBTQ stuff, there's capital.
Stay away from low vibrational people.
Oh no, where's it at?
And use the term in this country right here. And that's
there we go.
When hip-hop was popular around the whole planet Earth. We're deeply religious, spiritual people. And if you go to the continent of Africa, for the things that you said you're okay with, the LGBTQ stuff, there's capital punishment in many places. There's a death penalty because Black people, that is against the souls of Black folks. And you're a hip-hop head. You may remember the time when hip-hop was Black, when hip-hop was positive, when hip-hop was political, and when hip-hop embedded our culture, and you would hear people say things like no homo, or you finish battling somebody, especially in New York, and you would say, and I can't even say the word right now, that's all been ripped out of our culture by the liberal whites. What they did was they commercialized our culture. They put it on social media, they put it on Netflix, and then they told us who we are. Before, they used to observe us in our ghettos and then reflect our image in Hollywood. But now Hollywood tells us who we are, and then we follow it. And that's how you get a Lil Nas X, and that's how you get my son, the general, telling me he can't speak up straight like a man and say, I do not condone the abomination of a man laying down with another man, especially a Black man, because that reduces our population. The Black woman aborts more children than she gives birth to. Her birth rate is like 1.9. You need a birth rate of 2.1 for replacement and for growth. And we cannot have all these people, males laying with males and women laying with women and Black women abort children because we are being reduced. You talk about reparations. You say the government owes us something. Maybe they do, but one thing I can promise you is they ain't giving you a damn thing. You ain't gonna get 40 acres. You ain't gonna get a mule. I'm not about to wait for a government that I already know hates me, because goddamn it, the government hates the white man too. They ain't doing a damn thing for the middle and lower class white man. Why in the hell would he do something for me? I use the term partner.
So who's really behind it? Shout out to Marquette. He cooked. Don't agree with everything Marquette says, but right there he cooked. The brother cooked. Princess, thank you so much for the follow super chat. Love your heart. Your president have studio time. I'll see it afterwards. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Christ is King. Amen. Christ is Lord as well. Amen. Depending on who you ask, that's anti-Semitic to say that. Measure Man, what's up, man? Good. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Good to see you. We have 200 plus pages. I think you got mad at us during an email interchange. We not ops. If you research your stuff, I sent you, but we can email you all signed, sealed, and delivered with our attorney stamp. I'm confused. 200 plus pages of what? I think you got mad at us during an email interchange. We not ops. I'm not sure I follow. You got to clarify for me. Did you know that some of this fundraising is to help build the third temple to bring forth the light? That is the real estate. I'm so confused. I'm not going to lie. You got to let me know what you mean by that. Control your vessel. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I think this is the most important podcast Candace Owens has ever done. During my life, I have had many down-to-earth conversations with my friends. When subjects like historical events come up, I got a lot of slack. I had tears in my eyes today. I did too. That's why I pivoted. because I don't know Candace personally, but I know that people, some of my day ones, rightfully so, ask me, why do I make so many videos about this topic? Candace Owens, Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk. And I keep telling people, I'm going to get back to some of my older content, which I want to use this time to say, this channel is more than just about Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Erica Kirk. There is some great work on this channel, and I'll try to say it as unbiased as I can say. I have videos on this channel that's taking me weeks to do. So I highly encourage you all, if you want to support me, this is what I do full time. Please go and just check out some of my older videos. Right? Some of them are political. Some of them are not. Has to do with the Hollywood, the music industry, actors, actresses, Freemasonry, the occult. Please support me if you're able to. I don't want you to, I'm not trying to force you to watch something you don't like. I'm not telling you to do that, but I dropped a video on Kodak Black yesterday. If you don't know who that is, if you don't care for that, you don't have to watch it. But I want to let you know that I did. But what Candace talked about today is important because the direction that this country is headed, it's the people behind the scenes that's controlling it, that's controlling the people that we see. Speaks a lot to the direction that this country is headed. And I'm just 31. I don't even have children yet. But by the grace of God, maybe, that'll change in the next couple of years. But yeah, I had tears in my eyes too. So much, in fact, that I wish I could have just turned on the cameras in the middle of her episode and just talked. Because I like people to see me when I got that much passion. I felt every bit of her frustration, but I was like, dang, Candace. They used you for their agenda. And the moment that you were consistent with a different community was the moment they kicked you out. Guess who they kept? People like Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh has no integrity. He has no morals. Matt Walsh literally told Tucker Carlson, as it pertains to the people that's being unalived and unfairly treated in Palestine, he said, in all honesty, he really just don't care about it. It doesn't make him a difference one way or the other. Huh? Aren't you pro-life? Aren't you a Christian? What are you talking about? Oh. Translation. I work for Ben Shapiro. I can't care about this. I'll lose my job, my income, and I don't know if I'll be able to make as much money to hold up this lifestyle to take care of my family. I'm terrified. I'm petrified. That's what he means. There you go, Matt Walsh. You're welcome. Now get back to work, Matt Walsh. Lady Positive Thinker, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You are appreciated, brother, fighting this spiritual war with you. Thank you so much. I love y'all support, man, for sure. Hot Lips, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Erica's hair at AmFest, love your programs. Thank you. Musical Symbol, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Trust no one, ask questions. They are smart enough to work all angles in order to deceive us. Amen. Candace doesn't get a free pass. Symbol of the show. I agree. Like I said, I've been critical of Candace as well. I don't believe that Candace just found out that he's a Talmudic Jew. Maybe she did, but I find it hard to believe. I also find it hard to believe that Candace didn't believe at some point while she was at Daily Wire that they're using me as the token black person. But as long as I say things about my community that's true, I can sleep at night. But the moment you was consistent about a different community, which goes to show you, they wanted you to show the worst sides of your own community. It's just the truth. Chad Wade, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Nobody gets my trust unless they talk about Freemasonry. Hey, say that again. Facts. And like I said before, in fairness to Candace, she's done that multiple times. She's been doing it for years. Although CA is very close to it. I do love her, and I think the Holy Spirit has been working through her. Yeah, I've been sensing that too. Candace has talked about Freemasonry, though, Chad, quite a few times. This year, other years. Yep. Mickey. Mickey's still here. What's up, Mickey? Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I love seeing Candace stick up for herself and for truth on Pierce. I agree. You're right. She definitely dropped the mic, and I freaking shouted when she did that, for sure. And Pierce calls her his friend. Says, I really like you as a person. How? Trying to publicly humiliate someone like that. How? It's weird. Thank you so much for the $200 super sticker, Elo the B. Candace Owens still says George Floyd was unalive from an overdose. She said that, and I have mixed feelings about it because my position is this. Even if he did, Derek Chauvin still deserved prison time, extensive prison time, in my opinion. Why? Because even if it's procedure to put your knee on their neck, and you say no, it was on his shoulder blade, wherever it was. If a man is shouting, I can't breathe, even though he was saying it before that point, for 8 minutes straight, the humanity in you should ease up. You got 3 other officers with you. You chose not to do that. But I think that was a Freemasonic whole ordeal. That's a conversation for another day. I got to find the time to do the George Floyd video for Patreon. Jamie Abbott, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Love the truth you're speaking. I believe it's the greatest time to exist. Love is the ultimate truth. Amen. The battle is won. Candace is amazing. Love that. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Didi, I'll stand by your side and fight for Christ and truth any day of the week. You're one of the most humble souls I've come across. Man, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that big time. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I'm so glad Baron mentioned you. You are adorable and sincere and have good old common sense. Thank you. Isn't it weird? First of all, thank you. But isn't it weird that common sense isn't so common anymore? When you can put together an entire documentary, which I've been bashing Matt Walsh, but his What is a Woman movie was brilliant. It was brilliant. Isn't it weird that things have gotten so demonic and ungodly that common sense has become brilliant now? A woman is an adult biological female human. What? What do you mean by that? It's like, that's been true forever. Up until now, y'all try to question it. Like, what? It's controversial to say that. Unaliving the baby in the womb is murder because it's unjustified. No, it's not. It's a fetus. It's a human fetus. Two humans cannot come together and sexually reproduce anything else but human. And how you know it's murder is because if you're pregnant as a woman, not as a pregnant person, as a woman, as a female, if you're pregnant as a female and someone else without your permission caused you to lose your baby while it was in your stomach, you would want charges pressed. Why? You said that it's not murder. It's common sense. It's common sense. Shout out to Baron. Whenever he go live again, I gotta hop on his live and send him a super chat so me and him can collab. He's big out here. He's getting shout outs from all sorts of people. And he deserves it. He's doing great work. But he and I talked a little bit. We got to collab soon. Shout out to Baron. And all those kids he got, my understanding, he has multiple kids. KRS1, yep, absolutely. He is very smart like you, Didi. I appreciate it. And he can rap. And I can rap. I have to show y'all one day how my rapping skills. I'm actually pretty good. Our salvation is through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Deanna, I agree. Tony, let's see. Before I even get there, let me just say I ain't got no beef with you. I'm not mad at you about anything. Tony Alexander. Bet. As I'm sure you can understand, man, I got so many emails coming in. Y'all wouldn't even want to see my inbox. Like, it's insane. I said that exact convo yesterday against it. I don't like it saturated in front of my kids. They're all strategically going against black people purposely. I agree. Matt Walsh lost his... Yo, stop. TPUSA Real Estate Ventures Investments, Temple to finance the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Oh, I see what you're saying. Biblical prophecy to bring the light. Luciferian, Albert Pike. CC send you the docs. Hard to trust people. Okay, I'll definitely look it over. I promise. Hold me accountable. When I go live again, see if I've read them. I'll chip in on your super chat to Baron. Thank you. Heck yeah. Whenever I hop on there, look, I'll do this. The next time Baron goes live, Mickey, you and I will hop over there and super chat them together. Let's just do that. Heck yeah. All right, man. Let me get up off here. I love y'all. Somebody just said hello, everyone. I'm about to log off. Goodbye, everyone. That's funny. Heck yeah, man. Thank y'all for your support. Did you vote Trump? I did not. Who is Baron? Baron Coleman. He's the guy who broke the news about the Google searches. All the people in foreign countries in Washington, D.C. that were being searched, like Tyler Robinson and the surgeon and all these people, well before Charlie Kirk was that whole ordeal took place. Yep. So, thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much, Veronica. I appreciate it. Man, y'all make me so happy, man, for real. It means a lot. But anyways, I want to make sure I say this before I get out of here. Please go and follow me on Instagram and X. Link is in the description. Patreon is in the description if you want access to extended and uncensored videos. And please check out some of my older content, even on other topics that you may not find interesting. I may surprise you. All right? There's a reason why I don't just make random videos on this channel. If you like my videos on Charlie Kirk, TPUSA, Candace Owens, imagine what I'm like in other areas. I got videos on this channel. I have videos on this channel with millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views. There's a reason for it. I get super detailed, you know. Last question I'm going to take. Didi, what's your thoughts on PBD podcast take on Candace? Trash. As my boy Bubba Dub, y'all probably won't know who that is. He's a comedian. Trash. I think Adam should have been put off that show at least a year ago. But like, it seems everywhere, he's like what's his name? He's like the Josh Hammer of PBD. It's like, where do you come from? Where do you come from? You're a mole. You're not, PBD hasn't gotten rid of you because he can't. Because who's ever funding his podcast placed you here. That's what it makes me feel like. He's another one of those who don't like when you criticize that one foreign nation. He hates it. Where do these people come from? So yeah, I think they're trash. Anyways, I've done enough yelling. My voice is damn hoarse. I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. What is Baron's channel? Baron Coleman. Baron Coleman. All right. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one, man. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Be safe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Oh, yeah. Didi got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate at UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Y'all can just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright. No such thing. Come on, we can do better than that. Talk to me. Talk to me. Alright, let's start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. You're worse than the rich white people who are, or the rich white Jews that own these record labels, because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people, and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you? Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.